Alright.
Alright.
We're with UltraDavid. We're here at the Mortal Kombat 11 event. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. But UltraDavid, tell us a little bit about some of your impressions on Mortal Kombat 11 so far.
I like it a lot. I really like the neutral game to it. I know the footsies are really strong. I've always thought the games that have block buttons instead of proximity block have better footsies because you can be super precise about where you stand. You don't have to worry about like stepping back while holding block. You know what I mean? Like you can be really precise. But then this game doesn't have run, which MKX had, and the buttons all seem really big. So I feel like there should be a really strong footsies game that develops out of that. I like the zoning a lot. I think some zoning is cool, and I really like the new grappler character, Geras. He feels like my kind of character, you know, command grab and really weird time control mechanic type stuff. So I think it's really cool.
How would you compare, let's say, 11 to 10?
Slower, I think is probably the biggest thing.
Slower?
Yeah, slower.
Because of the lack of run button, or are there
the lack of run button, for sure. I mean, there were definitely good footsie tools in that game, but the run made it so that you were always concerned about the opponent getting in on you and starting their offense. This game, I feel like it'll be harder to start your offense, so that most of the time will be spent more in the middle than in big time pressure. And without a run, it's gonna not just be slower in terms of how you get in, but your ability to get in will be a little bit lessened, so it's gonna happen less often.
So if it takes longer or if it's harder to get in, that means that let's say there's going to be more time spent in the neutral.
Yeah.
What does that mean for characters that you like?
Well, I think that's cool. I mean, I'm fine with that. My favorite matchups are matchups that are slow and grinding, and then I get in and get a grab. So those are some of my all-time favorite matchups. So that's
delayed gratification.
Yeah. And I also really like playing zoners, so that's great for me too. Like I really enjoy that side of it also. I feel like it fits more with what I want to do than MKX did. I really like MKX also, but yeah, I prefer not having a run. I think it's like the biggest change. I really like the resource mechanics also.
Yeah,
they're very different.
The resource mechanics, I'm looking at the bottom left of the screen with the, I don't even know what the bar is called.
I'm not sure
You're
either.
the commentator.
I don't know. Vertical and horizontal, I have no idea. But yeah, they're very different. They're just time-based rather than having to like earn some meter. So you always have access to it as long as you've had time to develop it. And you start with them. The round starts with them.
I don't really see anybody using them yet, but it's not even day.
You know, yeah, that's whatever, right?
Negative 100 and
yeah,
you know.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
But they have some really interesting tools. Really cool offense, varied defense. One of the problems I felt with MKX was that the pressure was very strong and there were not very good ways to get out of things. You had a push block, but it was expensive and it didn't work very well. Whereas this game seems to have better defensive tools, so I like that. And I really like that they added like Soul Calibur style lethal hits to it with like all these weird little conditions. You have to know exactly what the conditions are, so you got to put the time in. And then even once you know what they all are, like 16-bit was describing to me a mix-up where Sub-Zero, if he does 3 slides, the third one will be one of the lethal hits, or crushing blows.
Right.
And it does like 40% damage. But you only get 1 crushing blow per move, per game. So although there's like 5 different moves that have a crushing blow, if you've used move A's once, you can only then use B through D or whatever, no longer A.
Okay.
So then, if you're Sub-Zero and you've hit 2 slides, your opponent knows that the next low is going to be super damaging, so they're going to be worried about that. So they're going to be blocking low, so you're going to go for overheads or go for grabs or whatever. I feel like it kind of opens up a little. Yeah, they don't want to get hit by the low. The third low is going to kill them.
Assuming that they knew.
Well, right, you have to know, of course.
Of course. You know, once you get to a certain level,
right,
everybody knows these things.
Right. That's not going to be a day 1 thing.
Right.
That's month 2 maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Like
long-term mind games.
Yeah.
Especially in like a high-pressure tournament situation where maybe somebody did this the first time that you played, but the next time they changed it up.
I really like that. I've been playing a lot of Soul Calibur, and it has lethal hits, which are basically the same mechanic. And it's really, really cool to play around like things that have lethal hits on them or not. It's the same kind of idea. You know, if you're playing against Ivy, you're worried about sidestepping because she can get lethal hit and do a ton of damage. So then you want to sit still, but then she has super good verticals so that you can, you know, there's like really good mix-ups that come out of it. And I expect that to happen in MK11 as well.
So let's say when the game comes closer to release, or you know the online beta comes out, you know April, March, how are you know like fighting game commentator slash intellectual property lawyer? How do you anticipate like allocating your time? Because let's say in March and April, there's a lot of stuff going on. You know, Street Fighter, attacking all the other games. How do you approach like a new game coming out at that time? Do you see yourself allocating that time to Mortal Kombat?
For sure. I feel like I can only really play and learn 3 games at a time at any one time. Yeah, at any one time. Yeah.
Goddamn.
The maximum for sure. I mean, partly because like Street Fighter is already fairly developed. Like I'm not starting from scratch on any game. Even Mortal Kombat, like it's not from scratch. I've been playing the series for so long that although it's different, it's not going to be from scratch. So anyway, I think that's the max. And yeah, I mean, I'm currently playing Soul Calibur and Street Fighter and BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle.
Whoa.
I really like those games. And when MK comes out, I'm definitely dropping one of them for Mortal Kombat. I'm not sure which.
It just remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen, yeah. I'm kind of leaning towards Calibur, even though I really like the game, because I feel like this game has a lot of the same mechanics, and I'll like want to play this more. Whereas BB Tag is really unique. Street Fighter is unique, at least in modern day, and that's, yeah, maybe, we'll see.
So we could probably expect to see you doing content, doing commentary at different MK events.
I hope so, yeah, I really want to.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, UltraDavid, where do people go for more UltraDavid?
dpgatlaw.com.
dpgatlaw.com, the source for all that's going on with UltraDavid and what's going on with the intellectual property ins and outs of the gaming community. Thank you so much.
Of course.